Step into your own fairy tale by creating this adorable stick horse for the little princesses in your life. We've designed this pattern with all the fabric pieces you need to easily sew your unicorn together in a fleece material that you can enjoy for years to come. You will need the printed panel, fabric scissors, fabric pins, a rotary cutter in a 45 or 60 millimeter, rotary cutting ruler, cutting mat, pink embroidery floss, white thread, chopstick, and a sewing machine. You will also need a bag of polyfill fiber. For assembling the unicorn, you will need a 7/8 by 48 inch dowel, metal ruler, pencil, utility knife, sandpaper 120 grain or finer, white craft paint, paintbrush, pliers, 12-inch zip tie, and a 7/8 inch white rubber leg tip. Measure 9 inches from the top and mark completely around your dowel. Using a utility knife, carve a 1/4 inch groove at the pencil line. Sand dowel and paint several coats of white paint, drying thoroughly between layers of paint and sanding between coats to create a smooth surface. We designed this unicorn to be printed on the new low loft fleece from Spoonflower. Your 1-yard order will include the unicorn head, ears, horn, neck, two squares to create the mane, and a bonus print to make a coordinating unicorn purse for your little princess. Cut out all printed pieces along the edge of the print. The 1/4 inch seam allowance is included in the print. Cut into the top of the head along the pink line stopping at the pink dot. Make sure you cut around all the pink dots on edges of head and neck pieces, as they will be used as markers. Note the stretch of the fabric on the main pieces and fold in half, keeping the stretch vertical. Lay metal ruler on cutting mat of edge of fold to prevent cutting into the fold. With rotary cutting ruler and markings on the mat as your guide, measure and cut with a rotary cutter 1/4 inch strips to create mane. Repeat on the second folded square, making sure the stretch is vertical. Match inner and outer ear pieces, right sides together and pin to secure. Fold unicorn horn in half lengthwise and pin edges to secure. Sew 1/4 inch seam around the two sides of each ear and at the edge of the horn, starting on the widest edge of the horn and sewing to the tip. Make sure to backstitch at the beginning and end at each of your seams to secure. Trim off the tip of the unicorn above the stitch. Clip tips of ears above the stitch. At the top of the long centerpiece, cut pink line to the pink dot. Match cut pink line at the top of the head with the top of the long center panel and pin to secure. Then align and pin the pink dots and finish by pinning the bottom of the neck. Pin the spaces between to keep things aligned while sewing. With the side panel down, sew a 1/4 inch seam. Repeat on the second side. Turn earpieces inside out and use chopstick to form the point. Use the same technique with the horn. With the darker pink ombre insides of the ear facing up, roll the seam to the inside and top stitch around the edge. Fold right side of the ear 1/3 to the center and base stitch near the edge. Fold second ear 1/3 from the left and stitch on the edge. Looking at the top of the head, flatten the seam with your fingers and place ears along the top seam. Place the ears with folds facing towards the seam and inner ears facing towards the nose, then pin ears 1 inch from the center of the seam. Place the ears with folds facing towards the center and inner ears facing towards the nose, then pin each ear 1 inch from the center of the head seam. Line up the back of the head with the front with the ears between and pin to secure. Sew ears into place. Pin both layers of main fringe together at the fold. Sew together near the folded edge. Then zigzag over the first stitch line to flatten the edge. Place the edge of the fringe right into the forehead slit between the ears. With right sides of the fabric together, pin main between the two layers from forehead to the base of the neck. Set your machine back on straight stitch and sew a 1/4 inch seam down the back of the neck with the main between layers. Turn the head right side out. Stuff the horn with polyfill, using the chopstick to press the filler into the tip. Cut a 1.5 inch disc from plastic, you can recycle a milk jug, and press into the base of the stuffed horn. With a needle and thread, sew a running stitch around the edge and pull tight together. With approximately 1/3 inch of the horn wrapped around the plastic disc, tie off the thread. Thread embroidery needle with pink embroidery floss, tying knot at the end. Put the needle through the base of the horn and, using your thumb as a measuring guide, wrap the floss at an angle around the horn. Stitch through the seam and pull the floss tight to create an indentation in the horn. Stitch back around the seam to secure. Then wrap floss again, repeating until you have created a spiral up the horn. Tie a knot at the top of your spiral, then stick your needle into the tip of the horn and back out the side seam at least an inch down. Use the pliers to pull the needle through and clip your floss to bury the end. Fold bottom of the unicorn neck 1 inch to the inside. Pin and stitch along the cut edge. Place the rubber leg tip at the end of the dowel opposite of the carved end. Cut 4 5-inch squares of fleece scrap, stack them in rotation, and place them on top of the dowel. Use duct tape to secure the fleece onto the dowel. Cut a tiny hole at the fold at the bottom of the center of the neck piece. Stuff nose and top of head with polyfill. Place stick into the head, lodging the covered tip between the ears, then fill around the stick with polyfill until the head feels solid. String a 12-inch zip tie through the hole, adding a safety pin to the end to keep it from slipping through. Pull tight using pliers, securing so edge sits snugly into the carved groove. Cut off excess zip tie. Place horn onto the forehead against the top of the mane and pin. Hand stitch around edge 2 to 3 times to make secure. Tie off thread and trim. To finish the mane, pull each piece of the fringe one at a time to create a spiral curl. Tie a pink ribbon around the base of the neck. And your unicorn is ready for a magical adventure.